guys, sorry for the wait. I guess I was hesitant to talk about the 9.5 defenses, but then I stumbled on this channel new to me called TnThoughts. Check it out. And namely the defense video. And it inspired me to finally just sit down and share my thoughts. I've broken it down into 2 bits. This video is bit 1, which is the new defense system, and the video 2 will be the subclasses when I get there. Also, I'm kind of still working on the Misty story script. It's just taking longer than expected. So, the defense. Well, actually, I really like the idea. I think the reason the initial reaction from viewers was a whole lot of was because it felt like some huge drastic change. Hot take, I don't think it's actually a big change at all. I think that AD-PD is exactly what PD-MD was supposed to be. I mean, a dual defense system wherein both defenses play a role in mitigating damage, where both defenses are based on or influenced by different base stats, allowing players to have a decent armor class regardless of how they divided their base stats. The dual defense splits attacks against them so that enemy is typically targeting one or the other per attack, and they are on a scale so that having a lot in one defense would typically weaken the other, or at best have a lower average in both. See, back in my first DC20 video, I compared the defense system there to Divinity Original Sin, and that's what I was excited to see. Thing is, PD-MD combo ended up not delivering on that. Also, the monster design being the back half of that equation. Say, there's 2 ways to save money, right? You can make more money, but you can also spend less, right? This is kind of that to me, where part of the issue with PD-MD was that none of the abilities targeted MD. When I taught my in-laws DC20, I didn't even include MD on their cards. The new defense system makes more sense to me because, again, it's kind of the original dual defense concept, but implemented in a way where you don't need separate skills attacking separate defenses, aka new skill design. You really care more about, can I dodge this or not? So like single target versus multiple target AoEs, or say a mental attack that you can't physically dodge, or maybe a heat metal on your armor or something. I did ask myself why a mental attack would be a passive defense and not a save, so if you have an answer to that or a thought on that, comment please. Next up, the new system de-emphasizes agility. See, before, as we mentioned, MD wasn't being used, so PD was the only defense that was important, and the main and only stat feeding it was agility. So if you had a high agility, you took less damage, period. But now the active defense has 2 core stats feeding it. So you can have an intelligence-based character. If you can't tell, I'm a little biased because all my favorite characters are intelligence-based characters. If you have an intelligence-based characters, you can still have a high defense, and that's only half the picture. If you have a low AG and low int, you still have a decent defense option because of that passive side. Of course, as mentioned, this is dependent on monsters using different abilities and skills so that the different defenses are utilized. Again, MD not being used is kind of part of what got us here in the first place. So it would be kind of bad if a DM used only arrows against a party of high passive defense characters, or only fireball AoEs on a party with all active defense oriented characters. Counterpoint, the party should work together and focus on being balanced as a party and function as a party instead of 4 to 5 individuals. Counterpoint, true, but I still think you should watch it and ensure that players aren't getting punished because they opted to play all int heavy characters or something like that. Anyways, I haven't actually run it yet, and the PD-MD is a great example of when something sounds really good on paper and then translates differently at the table. That said, I'm still actually really excited about it. So excited, I bet you hit that subscribe button, because you can just feel it coming through the screen, can't you? There's my brief tangent on the new defensive. Hope you found this informative or at least entertaining, and until next time.